Good evening, good evening. It is 6:30. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming this evening. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance and an invocation, so if you'd please stand. You may be seated. We are going to start this evening with a proclamation followed by service recognitions. This is such a wonderful way to end the year. And I'm going to come down to this podium. When I call your name, if you'll come over to the podium, Nick is going to talk while I'm presenting you your pen and your certificate. And then if you'll line up here, we're going to get one big group shot. And then after we're done with all the recognitions and the big group shot, I invite you to the lobby where we have some refreshments and we can enjoy that time recognizing you. And the rest of us will move on with the meeting. Okay? Okay. We're going to start with a proclamation. We are recognizing Mr. Rod Haney. If you'll come up here, Rod. Rod is actually receiving two things this evening. He has a proclamation, but he's also getting a certificate of appreciation for 5 years of service in the city of Meadows Place. So here's your certificate.
Thank you.
And your pen. Most importantly, we are here to recognize Rod and honor Rod. He is retiring and will be so dearly missed. Yes, so dearly missed. So I'm going to read a proclamation for you. A proclamation honoring Roderick Haney. Whereas the City of Meadows Place proudly recognizes individuals whose dedication, professionalism, and unwavering commitment have strengthened the foundations of our community. Whereas Rod Haney, the Public Works Director for the City of Meadows Place, has faithfully served our city for 5 years, bringing with him decades of experience, deep technical knowledge, and an exceptional record of leadership in municipal public works. And whereas Roderick began his distinguished municipal career in late 1988 and has served communities across Texas with honor and expertise, including West University Place, Jersey Village, Tomball, Shenandoah, Cleveland, and Meadows Place. And whereas throughout his career, Roderick has played an integral role in overseeing, directing, and completing major infrastructure projects that have improved public health, safety, and quality of life for countless residents, including water and wastewater system rehabilitations, water and wastewater line installations, roadway projects, and most importantly to the City of Meadows Place, rehabilitations of the city's lift station, water wells, and wastewater treatment plant. And whereas the City of Meadows Place owes immense gratitude to Roderick Haney for his years of service, his stewardship of our public infrastructure, and his steadfast commitment to excellence. Now, therefore, I, Audrey St. Germain, Mayor of the City of Meadows Place, do hereby proclaim Roderick Haney Appreciation Day in the City of Meadows Place and encourage all residents to join me in recognizing and honoring Rod for his remarkable career, his contributions to our city, and his lasting legacy of service. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Meadows Place to be affixed this 18th day of December 2025. Thank you. Yes. Oh, I gave it to him at the start. All right. I would like Mr. Gerald Brownlee to come on up. Yes, right here. Mr.
Yeah, so Sergeant Brownlee graduated from Morton County Junior College Police Academy prior to beginning law enforcement. He began service with the Meadows Place Police Department on October 1st of 1995 as a reserve officer. He trained under Field Training Officer Gary Stewart. True story back then. His credentials include Master Peace Officer, long-term service as a department bailiff, and he managed the NIBRS compliance and asset forfeiture reporting. He serves a current important role as our grants coordinator, has helped us secure approximately $2.2 million in grant funding for the department. That funding has supported major equipment, technology, training, and infrastructure projects, and he's been the recipient of multiple police commendations and service awards over the years. Congratulations, Sergeant.
I would like to welcome Miss Danielle Delgado. She's getting her 10-year service award.
Sergeant Delgado graduated from Morton County Junior College Police Academy in 2005. She entered law enforcement service with the City of Rosenberg Police Department in 2006. She left there and joined Memorial Village Police Department in 2015. And then in November of 2015, became a reserve officer with the City of Meadows Place Police Department. Officer Delgado was promoted to sergeant in 2018. Her credentials include a Master Peace Officer certification, which is no small feat. She has specialized certifications in mounted patrol, field training, crime prevention, and rape aggression defense. Her current roles and responsibilities include being a reserve sergeant for the city. She continues to serve in reserve law enforcement. She's actively involved in law enforcement training and professional development, and serves on the public safety focus committees supporting first responders and their families. Congratulations, Sergeant.
Thank you so much. I need Officer Clayton Foster.
So Sergeant Foster and I got here roughly the same time. He rose through the ranks quick. I didn't. Sergeant Foster has 6 years of experience in the hospitality industry, working in hotel management. He graduated from Morton County Junior College Police Academy on December 4th of 2020, Class 104. Joined our Meadows Place Police Department in December of 2020. He completed his patrol training during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. His credentials include the Intermediate Peace Officer License, Field Training Officer, TCOL Instructor, and Telecommunicator Certification. Sergeant Foster has a focus on traffic safety and enforcement, extensive additional training in DWI detection. He's responsible for supervision and professional development of officers. Last year, Sergeant Foster received a life-saving award. He's also received the Chief's Award, and he's been promoted to sergeant a year ago. Congratulations, Sergeant Foster.
Here you go. Thank you for your service. I need Anthony Ibarra. Coming up, we'd like to recognize Anthony Ibarra for 5 years of service.
Senior Patrol Officer Anthony Ibarra served as Explorer Chief for the Rosenberg Police Explorers in 2018 through 2020. He worked in the private sector while volunteering in youth law enforcement programs, so has already had an interest in law enforcement. He graduated from the Morton County Junior College Police Academy on December 4th of 2020. You guys were classmates. He began his career in Meadows Place Police Department in December of 2020, quickly integrated into patrol operations. His credentials include Field Training Officer, T-Cole Instructor Certification, Mental Health Officer Certification, and an Intermediate Peace Officer Certification in December of last year. Senior Officer Ibarra is active in training, leadership, and professional development, and he has recently received recognition for professional advancement and leadership development, and recently was promoted to Senior Police Officer. Congratulations, Ibarra.
That's the first thing I asked you, wasn't it?
All right, that moves us on to agenda item D. We're going to move on to reports. I am actually changing the order of our agenda, and we're going to have our city administrator's report first with Mr. Nick Habe.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got 3 items today. First and foremost, I want to introduce your new code enforcement officer. Chelsea, you want to come up top in front? This is Chelsea Thomas. Chelsea, you can hit the podium if you'd like. So Chelsea comes to us from the city of Stafford, where she served as the senior lead code enforcement officer since January of 23. She has her Code Enforcement Officer 2 certification, which is huge. She holds ICC Property Maintenance and Housing Inspector, ICC Zoning Inspector, and even the General Environmental Health credentials. Before working in code enforcement, Chelsea worked in the private security for several organizations. So I just want to say on a personal note, we've had a good first week, and I've mentioned this to a few of you. She, on her own initiative on day 2, got into our Comcate system, which is the system that we use to do code enforcement, and she had cleared several cases already on day 2 by just going out and taking a look and seeing that the grass had been cut, etc. So it's nice to have somebody who's familiar with the system. It's great to have somebody who can come in and hit the ground running. And so we've been driving the city. She's been going out taking a look. Has already opened some cases. And so we're very happy to have her here, and we're very glad for her experience and expertise. Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you guys for having me.
Did you have two other things?
I mean, yes. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
So the other thing I wanted to mention, one of the other two things I wanted to mention is I'd actually like to ask Anna Maria to come up to the podium if she could. Is that okay? We talked about this. So as you know, we're in the middle of a transition, getting toward the end of a transition on our utility billing, going back 10 days. And what you may have also noticed is that we do have residents that are getting those new utility bills that are a little smaller than usual. That's because we're prorating them. So I wanted to invite Anna Maria to talk to you all a little bit about how that was done and just kind of talk about where we've been, where we are in the process, and what we've done to get to this, because it's been multiple puzzle pieces to get to where we are. So,
well, number one, it was a group effort. I mean, it wasn't just me. It was Jackie and Liliana and Rod, and everybody had a big part in this, moving our billing date up 10 days, which was huge. AVR kind of advised, well, you should just move it a couple of days ahead each month, and, you know, over 5 months you'd get there. And I'm going, no, we're not doing that. But in order to get there, basically I adjusted all the base rates down a third. So the base rate was set instead of for 30-day at 20-day. So for residents, they should have all seen at least a $33.68 decrease. So road use fee was $6.67 instead of $10, and same for infrastructure fee, and base water and base sewer were lowered. The same thing, I did the same thing for all the commercial accounts, so everything was prorated down. So the basic commercial user, their bill went down about $39.36. I think everything went smoothly. I think I heard a few comments that people were pleased with their lower bill right before Christmas. So I have not heard any complaints. It went very smoothly. And I will be adjusting the rates back up for the January bill. I will say it was very nice doing some of this paperwork now and not looking to do it next week. So thank you for letting us change the bill date.
thank you, Anna Maria.
That good?
Finally, I'd like to mention that next week is a holiday week, and so city offices will actually be closing on the 23rd at 11 a.m. As you know, we're going to have a nice luncheon for our city employees at that time. Certainly, City Council and Mayor are invited to attend. We hope you can make it. Then, of course, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, city facilities will be closed, and then we will be reopening on the 26th, which is Friday. Of course, New Year's Day will be closed as well. So I wanted to make that mention. Wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and that concludes my report.
Are there any questions for Nick? Nope. Okay. Chief, would you mind coming up? We're going to have our report from Chief Gary Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. We'll start out our report as we normally do with the number of accidents, which was 6 for the month of December. Again, it's a shorter reporting period, so I'll remind you that with these numbers. Arrests were 5. Calls for service, 4,311. 42 report calls. Citations for traffic, 289 with 681 charges. Citations for city ordinance violation were 2. Warnings for traffic, 187 with 249 charges. Warnings for city ordinance violation were 6. Total activity count, 5,778. Going through the next section, which activity, you can see we had 3 assaults, 1 B&B, no burglary of business or residential burglaries, which we always really like. City ordinance was 8 total, 0 for criminal mischief, 4 frauds, 0 robberies. Totals of business checks was 3,880. Theft 2, 1 UUMV on our TLC program. 28 pass, 11 failures, 39 contacts. With the city ordinance warnings issued below, 3 were for solicitor, 3 for junk vehicle at various locations throughout the city. City ordinance violations issued were 2 for junk vehicle parking violations. 6 reportable accidents, 3 were with injuries. There was one in the roundabout where a subject fell asleep behind the wheel and caused pretty significant damage. Of the hotspots that we worked, we had 3 for traffic. Those hotspots are based on complaints, as you'll know. We worked those. We had 13 citations issued for that on observed traffic violations. Flipping to page 1. The first information in here, as you can see, we had 3 assaults. This first one, as y'all are aware, is quite critical. The information I'm sharing, if you have any additional questions, I would ask that you ask me those personally, because even though you're going to see that this case is closed by arrest, it's still ongoing with what we're putting together for the district attorney's office. And we have to remember this case has not been adjudicated, so some of the information would be pertinent to a trial later on, and I got to be careful what we disclose. I will tell you this, as you read there, the call on Pamela Sue Court was a verbal disturbance as it started between 2 neighbors that escalated into one party shooting the other with a handgun. Upon arrival, MPPD performed life-saving treatment until EMS arrived for the victim. The victim was life-flighted and later pronounced dead at the hospital. The suspect was arrested on scene, so there was no threat to the community, hence why we didn't do a code red or any other notification outside that. The arrest was made right then. MPPD personnel was aided by the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office. We used their CSU unit to supplement our Criminal Investigation Division. And the Fort Bend District Attorney's Office on all shootings. They have a shoot team that has to come out. We notified them. They brought out their units to help us, and we needed to obtain a warrant to search the house anyway, so they were particularly useful in that area. Suspect was transported to Fort Bend County Jail. The investigation status closed by arrest. As you can see there, I also put that we were still continuing to work. The charges on this would be murder, felony, class 1 murder. And all other information is confidential as we're still working through that. Again, I would ask if you have any further questions with that related to that case specifically, that limited to what I can disclose, but if you'll call me personally, I will answer what I can. The other assaults were one in McGrath Park. This involved Christmas memories with 11 and 13-year-old girls that knew each other and then escalated into assault. And the last one was at a Discount Tire where a customer accused an employee of almost running him over. B&Vs, we did have one. You can read that there as a residential one. We haven't had very many of those recently, so knock on wood, we can keep those down as well. The fraud and forgery, we did have 4. Moving on to page 4, on the thefts, you can see those are down significantly this month from 6 the previous month. And those, I expect, will increase as we get closer to the holidays, unfortunately. We did have one UUMV. Again, that was inside where a customer parked in the rear lot of a business, and surveillance captured some of that, so it was about $47,000. The investigation has been suspended based on some of the information we have, and if you have any questions about that, I would answer that. Flock safety alerts, we had 152, up 21 from the previous month. 21 for stolen vehicle alerts, 33 for sex offender, 16 for stolen plate, 27 for gang or suspected terrorist alerts, 1 for missing persons alert, 1 warrant, 36 for protective orders. You can see that 10 of those hits are from 2 repeat vehicles out of Houston and Richmond. Other agency hot lists was 15 alerts and violent persons 2. Incidents involving Flock that were utilized was 1 with the warrants out of others' jurisdiction, and also 1 with a stolen plate where it was confiscated and handed over to HPD. Our total arrest, we had 1 for evading and endangering a child, 1 for possession of a controlled substance and warrant other jurisdiction, 1 for fraud and evading, 1 public intoxication, and 1 for homicide. As you can see on those arrests, the exact information for that arrest is the same as you saw under the assault for the first case. The other arrests are dictated there as we go through it. I did want to bring up that on page 7, the fraud and evading case, if you can see highlighted there, that our arrest led to HPD solving approximately 21 cases involving the same person. So, been quite busy this past month. Moving on to additional notes, special events. Christmas Memories was great. Huge success as always. Colleen puts on quite the show. Attendance was, according to Cameron, about 1,400 attendees, which is really good. Grant status, all has been approved, received approximately $114,000. We still currently have 2 full-time openings. We do have 1 candidate that's in final review. Everything's on my desk, and we just got to go through a little bit more process to see if it's going to be a potential hire. And we're preparing for the holidays. And with that, that concludes my report. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Chief. Counsel, are there any questions for?
No, I just had a comment. Thank you for the report on the hot spots. It is much appreciated, I'm sure, by the residents to have that many citations on those 3 spots. Means that I think people maybe get the message, and hopefully that will curtail some of those areas where issues continue to happen. But thank you.
Yes, sir. And we normally, of course, didn't used to report that, but since it's come up several times, anytime that they call in and we create a hotspot, we log everything, and that way, when the constituents ask you what's going on with it, you'll have that. I know even Councilman Stagley has called in one for us, so we appreciate when we get calls.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
That brings us to our report on Parks and Recreation with Ms. Colleen Cabezas.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. This report will serve a time period of October through December. So for an event recap, we did have the Fall Festival in October with approximately 1,800 in attendance, and that's consistent with last year's numbers. So we're holding, as far as the interest in that event, around 1,800. So with the help of the police department to help navigate and keep everybody safe, it was a very well-attended event. Following that, we had the Christmas Memories, and as Chief said, our numbers were at 1,400. The year previous, we were at 1,700. So I believe that the decline was due to the weather. Fortunately, it did not rain, but if you remember, it was a very, very rainy week. And by the time we got to Friday night, it was also very, very cold. So that does make parents sometimes change their mind getting their kids out in the cold and damp. But overall, it was still very successful with 1,400 individuals. We did have a great time. The big highlight for me this past Christmas event was that every single vendor showed up early. Was wonderful. So everything was in place, ready to go by 5:30, which that's what every event planner wants to have. So we were very happy with that. Council, thank you for attending. I saw many of your faces out there, and I know that the community really loves to see y'all at the event. So thank you for being there. And PD, once again, thank you for your support. In our programming, our YAC program continues to provide support to our community in a very big way. They've donated over 98 hours, volunteer hours, just in the past 3 months. So that's pretty phenomenal. They are committed to serving our community and making it a better place and becoming better leaders while they do that. We also did our trout stocking. That was completed on December 11th. With 1,700 trout surrounded by eager fishermen ready to catch their limit. Kurt, have you been out there yet? That's all right. I'm sure there's still some more there. Our nature center, we've begun to track our visits there as well. And over the past three months, we've had over 950 guests at our nature center. That includes school field trips, those coming to the nature center, our active adults, other programs that we have within the facility, rentals, basically the full use of our facility. So I was really impressed with that number, and we will continue to track that throughout the year. Projects completed. Our Christmas decorations throughout the city were put up with the help of our new OSHA-approved People Mover. So this is a safety platform that allows the park staff to get up to the height that they need to change the banners, to install the Christmas tree, the wreaths, anything at a higher level. But now it is the new OSHA-approved and safe platform that we have. So we're grateful to have it. We also continue in our off seasons or when it rains. Our staff constantly is still looking for things to do and be productive for the city. So our park staff are following a monthly safety training plan, and to date they have participated in 27 training courses covering topics such as lift and carry, equipment use and maintenance, pesticides, chemicals, paint safety, hydration, overheating, etc. So I just wanted to let you know that they are constantly fully aware of what they're doing in front of them, and that we are constantly training them to do it in a safe manner. Our playground inspections are also completed on a quarterly basis. So we just completed ours for November. The next ones will be in February. Each of these inspections has 39 checkpoints, and they must be performed by a certified playground safety inspector. And so that is Lee. She is trained in that process, and her certification actually is coming due. So she'll be going to training in January to renew her inspection training. That saves us quite a bit of money. Each one of those inspections for just one playground is over $1,000. We have multiple playgrounds, and we do these inspections once a quarter. So that's 4 times a year. So that really saves the city quite a bit of money to have an in-house inspection. We also have forms that she completes, so we are able to look at those and track changes from each inspection date and make needed repairs or adjustments. And then finally, upcoming activities. Chief alluded to it at Kirkwood Roundabout at Scottsdale. Someone did fall asleep at the wheel and did a significant amount of damage at that roundabout. We lost our big boulder signs that say Scottsdale on them, so we lost 2 of those. We lost some electrical conduits, curbing, plants, grass, irrigation, so it was quite a bit. So that will be a project that we are working on repairing and fixing. The boulders have been ordered. They won't be in for about 2 months, so we will be without that. So that is a project that is on the forefront to get taken care of quickly. We also have the AC replacement at the community center, and that's going to begin December 26th, approximately 5 days for them to be able to get that new system in. That actually falls during a time, it's a lull for us for rentals, so it worked out perfectly that they're able to do that and not really impede any rentals. Our maintenance closure of the Nature Center, this is something we do annually. It's a time that we do deep cleaning of the interior. We do maintenance repair, replacement of outdoor activities and animal enclosures. We do extra painting. This time we're also installing some new playground equipment. And this closure will take place January 5th through the 16th. So kids should be back in school at that point. Again, it's a slower time of the year for us, and we're able to dive in and clean up. We will also be taking down Christmas decorations beginning the 5th. That is a process. It doesn't all happen in one day. And as banners come down, we put up new banners again. So be patient with us. It could take a week or 2, obviously depending on weather conditions. And then our final project that's coming up is the McGrath Park Trail. We'll be doing some maintenance along the trail and also putting in some new signage. And then finally, a save the date. We have our family camp out in the park, and that is March 21st. And that concludes my report. Does anyone have any questions? Are y'all asleep? Was that too long?
Actually, not so much for you. I'm assuming we're pursuing the insurance for the car.
Yes, we are.
And I'm just curious, were they headed southbound on, or was it northbound? Okay. Because I saw it on the way back from school and dropping the kids off, and so that would make more sense if they fell asleep, then they would be going at a higher rate of speed, because they did quite a lot of damage.
They did. I'm thankful that that's what they ran into and not a pedestrian or a home. So if we lost a few boulders, it's better than the alternative.
And hats off to you guys, because you guys worked very quickly. I mean, cleaning it up and getting everything done. So definitely, you guys did a great job on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes. That brings us to our public comments part of the agenda. Do we have any public comments this evening? Okay, that brings us to mayor and council comments part of the agenda. And I'm going to kick it to Rick.
I did receive the plans for the bike project from the engineer. I've not had a chance to look at those yet. We'll be submitting those to Centerpoint in January. Doesn't really pay to submit it before January because Centerpoint's not going to look at it during the holidays anyway. Other than that, Dorrance, I believe they've completed the survey, but we haven't seen a whole lot of work since then. It'll take them a little bit to get to their 30% design.
All right, that brings us to our regular agenda. And before I launch into this, I just want to let everybody know that this is many agenda items, but it is a lot of housekeeping. So it should move rather quickly. This is kind of, we're just wrapping up the year. There's a lot of things we have, a lot of boxes we have to check, and that's what we're doing in December. So we're going to go ahead and get started with item number 1, discussion and consideration of resolution number 2025-35, appointing 4 directors to the Economic Development Corporation for a term commencing immediately upon passage of this resolution and ending December 31st, 2027. Our EDC directors must be appointed by City Council for 2-year terms, and I am putting forward Tim Gooding, David Mertens, Richard Ramirez, all for reappointment by council, and Mike Elmore for appointment by council. I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to agenda item number 2, discussion and consideration of resolution number 2025-36, appointing 3 commissioners and 3 alternates to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term commencing immediately upon passage of this resolution and ending December 31st, 2027. I'm putting forward Sean Ulrey, Mike Elmore, and Stuart Berriman as commissioners, all reappointing, and reappointing Ann Green, Nathan Mahand as alternates, and appointing Abby Henderson as an alternate.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item number 3, discussion and consideration of resolution number 2025-37, appointing 5 members and 4 alternates to the Meadows Place Board of Adjustment for a term commencing immediately and ending December 31st, 2027. I am putting forward David Pawanka, Chris Skolick, Terry Henley, Joe DeBruin, David Lance, all for reappointments, and reappointing Joseph Wayman as an alternate, Ken Smith as an alternate, appointing Kevin Barnett and Trey Zeliff as alternates. David, motion. Kurt, second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in, do you have any discussion? Yeah, these are really important positions.
Yeah. And some new people too. That's great.
Yes, I was able to get some fresh ideas to these boards.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to agenda item number 4. Discussion and consideration of ordinance number 2025-39 to set a public hearing date to conduct a public hearing for the purpose of receiving oral comments from any interested persons concerning the adoption and reauthorization of fees charged for the review, permitting, inspection, and related service for the construction, renovation, or remodeling of residential and commercial structures within the city. Council, if you'll look in your backup, we have this is in compliance with the state law. The city needs to hold public hearing and adopt the city's fee schedule. They're asking us to do this every 10 years, but we will probably just be doing this annually so that we make sure that we are doing it in accordance to the law. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
If any of the council members or public prior to that meeting want to consider any changes to fees, either up or down, based on previous discussions, now would be the time to start putting your thoughts together for that public hearing.
Thank you, Rick. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item number 5, discussion and consideration of ordinance number 2025-40, amending the utility schedule of fees for surface water from $2.50 to $2.75, temporary meter deposit to $2,000, short-term rental application fee in the amount of $300, city employee rental fee for the community center from $75 to $95, and amend wording returned check charge to returned payment. This proposal amends all of these fees. There's a list of them in your backup if you want a little more information about them.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion?
What I had was on the rental application, is that short term? Just a question on.
Thank you.
Question on that particular fee and what was it? And we're moving it to 300 recommendation of.
So if you looked at the fee schedule, we had one $100 fee for rental.
Right.
And there was nothing in there for short-term rental. And so that meant that by default, we were charging the 100 on the short term. So this adds a new line for short-term rental. 300 was the proposal we gave to you because we looked at the city of Houston's, which is doing their own brand new short-term rental, which was $275, I think it was. I think I sent y'all an article about that. It's a proposal. You can set it however you want. It's obviously meant to offset any administrative costs associated with the administration of short-term rentals in town. But it would create a new fee, essentially, that is separate from our regular rental fee.
Okay.
That's for the short terms, 3 times the cost.
The reason I ask is that my thought would be to go even higher, not so much for the administrative, but the fact that when we've had short-term rentals, we've had additional police, we've had additional city staff working on issues, we've had complaints, and to me, if we're going to look at a rental for profit, which is what short-term rentals are, I think that could be absorbed and give the city some additional enforcement capabilities. So I would want to poll and see if we're interested in $500 for that particular one. Again, we're trying to discourage short-term rentals, or at least have them regulated based on the fact that if we have multiple complaints, they can't renew the short-term rental. I think this would be another step in addressing an issue that has become a complaint generator in the city. And I'm open to the 300, but I would recommend 500 based on what I just stated.
I would be open to 500. I do see where you're going with that, and I agree with that. I think my concern is if we raise it too much, do you get to the point where people start to dodge it? Like, is there a way, that we stop finding out that they are short terms, they hide it a little bit more. Is that even a concern, or,
I feel like we're already tripling it this year. Let's maybe revisit next year. We're going to do the same, kind of go over the fee schedule again. I'm fine with 300. I don't know if I want to slap them with 500 from 100. That's quite a big increase, and a lot of the folks operating the Airbnbs, they are families. They're not, corporations that own them. Some, of course, do, yes, but I know a few of the owners, and they're, regular families that had a short-term rental or wanted to make an investment, and yes, they're making money on it, but again, that's quite a jump. I'm more comfortable at 300.
I don't see a problem with maybe trying it out for a year, seeing what kind of feedback we get, and revisiting it. Do you have thoughts, Rick?
Who made the original motion?
We don't have a motion on
we
this
don't have
one
a
yet.
motion on the
No.
table yet? Well, David, if you wanted to...
Oh, wait, do we? Sorry, we do have a motion. Tia, and then Kurt seconded. Yes.
Okay, so just parliamentary procedure, if David wanted to propose something, he would propose an amendment, we would vote on the amendment and go from there. We really shouldn't poll without a motion on the table.
You mean a different motion than accepting it the way that it is? Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we amend it to 500. Whether or not we approve that or not, but I still want to put that on the...
And I will second. And so is there any discussion on the proposed amendment?
Oh, that's a good question. So on the proposed amendment, I think, Kurt, I would look to you on, how many people in the neighborhood would that affect? Are we looking at, because I don't see the average person that maybe has a second home that they're trying to make, some extra income. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. The short-term Airbnbs where you have some people coming in, I also don't see a problem with taxing them in that way of, we are using extra services. So I also see the resources that we're using for them. So I'm kind of split on this one, to be honest with you. I could go either way.
I hear both of you, absolutely. I guess I just go back to, we're tripling it in 1 year. That sounds like a lot for anyone to absorb. Airbnb rental rates are down, so you're kind of kicking someone when they're already down a little bit. Maybe I'm having too big of a heart for it. I've met some of the folks that are staying at the Airbnbs over the years, and for the most part, they're wonderful. A lot of them are family members of folks that already live in Meadows Place, that, they're having people come in from out of town, or one right now had an insurance claim at their house for some damage, so they're staying at an Airbnb right now in town. So there's a lot of reasons for it. They're not all just folks looking for a party. So
Agreed.
I'd be in favor of the 300 for now, and then revisit next year.
And this is a one-time yearly fee?
Question. When is that fee collected based on when they apply, or is it January every year?
January.
Beginning of the year, okay. So this would be for the coming year, okay.
If there's no more discussion, we would vote on the amendment.
I have a motion and a second. I have a motion from Rick. No, I have a motion from David and a second from Rick to vote on the $500 amendment, changing the rental application fee in the amount of from $300 to $500. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'm going to go with it.
All those, any opposed?
Yeah, nay. This is rare. This never happens.
3 ayes and 1 nay.
It hasn't.
I'm kind of hoping we'd put Audrey on the spot and make her be the tiebreaker.
Not yet.
True.
Not yet. Motion approved. Motion passes.
So unless there is further discussion,
Amendment, yeah.
unless there is further discussion, we would now then vote on
The original motion.
the original motion as amended.
I do have a question on the temporary water service. Why the increase from 1,000 to 2,000?
Do you want me to, or do you want to?
It can be a quick answer.
Nick's got an answer for you.
Okay.
Because temporary water meters are expensive, and if one doesn't show back up, this will cover the cost of a new one.
That makes sense. Thank you.
How did I do?
I imagine that was the answer, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Understood.
And then for the residents, the main increase that's going to affect them is the surface water fee is going up $0.25 per 1,000 gallons. That is being assigned to us through WCID number 2 through their costs. If we were not a partner with WCID number 2, we would be paying much higher rates per the state law. This is not anything the city likes. It is not what your council wants. However, it is a state law that we have to abide by.
Yes. Thank you so much for clarifying that, Rick. I have a motion and a second with no further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item number 6, discussion and consideration of ordinance number 2025-41, amending the utility fund budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026, increasing line item 300046453,006 utility revenue surface water from $300,000 to $350,000. This is a budget amendment.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 7, discussion and consideration of ordinance number 2025-42, amending the utility fund budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026, increasing line item 3000465466905 utility water surface water expense from $350,000 to $335,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So these two items moving together, just recognizing the income and the expense of
Yes.
the additional fee for surface water.
Yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item number 8. Discussion and consideration of the first reading of, we are moving into our EDC budget items. State law says that I read these twice. There has to be 2 readings of the agenda items, and we motion and second both of them. Okay. Discussion and this is item number 8 through 17 is what we're doing here. Okay. Discussion and consideration of the first reading of resolution number 2025-38, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake the general park improvements as Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's project and approving the expenditure of $90,000 for the general park improvements project. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just general discussion on all of these. This money is earmarked for the EDC out of the half-cent sales tax that the state gives back to a recognized EDC. In order to spend the money, the EDC has to propose it within their budget. Then they present that budget to the city. The city then has to approve it. And then I think the last step is a public hearing.
Yeah, the EDC had a public hearing.
The public hearing was held
And
back
then this is the last step.
November. So this is the last step in trying to allocate the monies that are received by the EDC. So with that, I'm...
All right, with a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 9, discussion and consideration of the second reading of resolution number 2025-38, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake the general park improvements as a Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's project and approving the expenditure of $90,000 for the general park improvements project. I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 10, discussion and consideration of the first reading of resolution number 2025-39, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake general parks maintenance not to exceed $21,600. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item number 11, discussion and consideration of the second reading of resolution number 2025-39, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake general parks maintenance not to exceed $21,600. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 12, discussion and consideration of the first reading of resolution number 2025-40, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake park improvements within Kirkwood Linear not to exceed $40,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 13, discussion and consideration of the second reading of resolution number 2025-40, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake park improvements within Kirkwood Linear not to exceed $40,000. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 14, discussion and consideration of the first reading of resolution number 2025-41, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake the expenditure of $280,000 for Dorrance Lane Rehabilitation Project. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 15, discussion and consideration of the second reading of resolution number 2025-41, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake the expenditure for $280,000 for the Dorrance Lane Rehabilitation Project. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 16, discussion and consideration of the first reading of resolution number 2025-42, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake business development expenses not to exceed $129,400.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 17. Discussion and consideration of the second reading of resolution number 2025-42, identifying Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation's intent to undertake business development expenses not to exceed $129,400.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 18. Discussion and consideration of resolution number 2025-43, approving the Fort Bend Central Appraisal District purchase of the real estate located at 13135 Dairy Ashford Road, Sugar Land, Texas, in the amount of $16,737,500 plus additional amounts for construction and renovation of approximately $9 million for use of expanding the existing office facilities. We were reached out to by Jordan Wise, the chief appraiser, with Fort Bend CAD asking for his taxing units to approve the attached resolution for purchasing real estate located in Sugar Land for this amount of money. I would like you to know that no action on this item is considered a yes action. Like, it's considered a yes, we approve. Just so you know.
Council, I wasn't really able to find out any of the other cities if they're going to oppose this or support it. It would be closer for our citizens, much closer than having to go down to Rosenberg, actually. I've been to their building. It is fairly old. The parking's not great. I don't know. Well, I guess it's got a parking garage at this building. It would be better. Don't know that I favor spending $16 million, but we are a growing county and they are going to need more space going forward. Like I said, the only benefit I see is it's closer for our citizens versus the rest of the county. I'm not really in support of it, but I don't know that our support or going against it is really going to matter. I think it's going to be based on our percentage. So we are a fairly small percentage of the CAD. The school districts and the county will be the major factor in this.
Yeah, I think the other thing is that this is not coming out of our city budget or any of the monies that would come our way. This is separate. So what we're doing is giving permission for somebody who we're under their authority already to go to a new location. And I guess they have the money for it. If they're proposing this, then
yeah, it says their current budget includes the funds for it.
They've been building that fund up, obviously. We pay into the CAD, as do all taxing entities, because they perform this service for us. It would be much more expensive for the city to do our own appraisals, even if that is even allowed under state law anymore. I don't think it is, because they didn't, like the cities doing their own thing, and some cities undervaluating, others overvaluating, so they went to the centralized thing. We can just let this pass with no action, or if we take an action, it'd be to support, or I guess to oppose is the only action that we would take.
And just clarification, where exactly is this located?
It's right there at the corner of Derry Ashford and 90A. It's one of those towers that are there.
Yeah.
Next door to the Audi dealership.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is pretty close to us if people wanted to go protest or anything.
Do we know what's going to happen with the old building?
I have not heard.
So a motion to table this would basically just leave it.
Yeah, Jordan Wise told us that no action is a yes vote. I mean, the resolution says that the property tax code requires the acquisition or conveyance of real property be approved by the governing bodies of 3/4 of the taxing units entitled to vote on the appointment of board members.
I think if there was opposition to this, I think the other cities, the major cities, would have reached out to us already. Sugar Land, Missouri City.
I'll move to approve. Move to support them. I don't know. Sure.
Or we can just let it, no action.
If we table it, then
Just take no action. That's an
Yeah,
approval.
we can do that. That's fine.
That way you're not on record of supporting the appraisal district.
The difference is, it's a point, because the difference is that we actually send the resolution to them as an approval, as opposed to
No action.
no resolution going at all.
So I'll make a motion that we table this resolution.
Do we need a motion to do no action?
Tabling usually means it comes up at the next meeting, so.
Oh, okay then.
No action.
No
Okay.
action then.
No action. We don't need a vote or anything. Okay, hey, that's easy. Number 19, discussion and consideration regarding ratifying the mayor's signature on the updated engagement letter with Crow LLP for the city's audit services. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Any opposed? Motion carries. That moves us to agenda item H, which is consent agenda. Consider the approval of minutes held as follows: November 18th, 2025, City Council special meeting. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. With no further business to discuss, this meeting is adjourned.